In the bottom left playing Valder. Ooh, we don't get to see Valder that often. Is oh, I've got the wrong names on actually. Let me fix that real quick. It is Khal-El versus RedJams, and they are playing Valder against Valder. So interested to see how this plays out. RedJams going for the more optimized early sword to grab this village. Versus Khal-El, who's actually taking a little longer. Ooh, but he gets a mage. Interesting. So Khal-El definitely doing something a bit different, but we'll see how this works out. Heals Valder at a pretty good timing. Grabs the tower. This mage could potentially grab this village. And yeah, he's just gonna go for it. So the delayed capture on this village really punishing Khal-El. Ooh, he doesn't get the coin flip and takes 23% for it. Which means the sword is actually just gonna walk up and hit the mage now. So Khal-El having a rough start to this game. Knight decaptures this. One thing RedJams hasn't done though is captured this village. Damn, that's a pretty rough one. Gonna see, can Khal-El pull anything out here? The mage is just gonna run. Because yeah, that's such a badly beaten mage at this point.
Rise from your grave.
And the rising begins. This is turn 6 of course, and yeah, it's just gonna sit there for the moment. What is Valder going to do from RedJams? He has the big advantage on econ due to taking more of the side villages. He's just gonna walk back and summon a sword. Keeps his stronghold nice and safe. When I like this, uses the swords and the harpy to take this village. The harpy could eat quite a bit of damage from this mage, but the mage would die for it and the harpy wouldn't. So yeah, just gonna walk back, keep that mage healed up. Can't heal it to full, and that could be a significant factor later on. Like having a 90-something% unit actually can come back and bite you at certain points in the game. But it could also be very useful, like swords being on like 95%, it makes them kind of guaranteed at getting like rode into plain suicide kills. So we'll see if that comes into any particular notable interaction from RedJams. He has so much gold, especially with that thief deposit, but he has all these side villages. It's only just now that Khal-El's really gonna take any of those back. Takes a couple back, you know, uses Valder to decap, which means he's gonna have Groove, but also RedJams, you know, having just done the same thing, has Groove as well. We're gonna see if that then converts into a sword. Could do. He could actually run forward and decap this village next, but no, he's gonna be aggressive and play into his opponent. Slams into an enemy mage. Just like has a really strong defensive formation around all this. Ooh, big harpy crit on Valder. You know, harpies don't do too much damage to commanders, but you get a crit. 20% is like a nice chunk of damage. That does threaten to have Valder. I mean, Valder can't really attack into the opposing commander anymore. It's like you will kind of draw on that fight even though you hit first. So he's just gonna kind of walk back. Right, and RedJams chooses Golem between the Golem and the Dragon choices. He could actually build another dragon if you want, or he could just build the first dragon even this turn. But that does then force like a couple of probably sword buys, and when you're Valder you have so many swords that you actually just want like kind of more tech units like archers, mages. Ballista, okay. RedJams is definitely a big fan of getting Ballista in general. And in this kind of situation, it actually is quite good. There's a lot of spears. Ballista are going to be able to like peck away at those, and you're going to be able to force your opponent back. And they're quite good against things like even golems, for example. Like Ballista, they can deal a decent chunk of damage to them from range, and the golem can't go from being out of range into attacking a Ballista. So a Ballista will always get a hit on a golem before it actually gets to it. And RedJams switches front really nicely. He needs to keep some units here to defend, but he can kind of shift and put more pressure on the opponent's stronghold. Especially with stuff like he's got this balloon carrying this archer around, so this archer is now in a really good point to do some damage. And Khal-El realizes that while he can still try and apply some pressure to the enemy stronghold, he doesn't have quite enough to do that. RedJams could just swing his army back up. So how will this work out? And of course, this is when the timer really starts kicking in, because okay, like they're kind of in a stalemate, and like they're only like halfway through their timer, but this could go on for another 10 turns. But it looks like they're going to start being more aggressive. And yeah, Valder runs in, deals some damage. Suicides the dog. This is just to allow this golem to come in. I'll start seeing like dog crits come in. Oh, it doesn't go for the dog crit, just uses the mage. Alright. And that's a big crit from the knight. And yeah, oh, RedJams, you're doing so much damage this turn. And things are going to get into this balloon. Transported forwards. Even the thief comes in, and oh my god, look at how much army there is right there. I don't even really know what Khal-El can do to clear this. Like, he's obviously going to start fighting back, dealing damage where he can. So much of his army is just out of position, and I guess he can kind of sweep up to try and take this stronghold, but he just has to like batten down the hatches and fight. And he can't get a unit in front of this. So he's definitely going to take another hit on his stronghold. And is there enough from Khal-El? Khal-El really like hit back quite hard that turn. But I think RedJams can finish it. Yeah, picks off one harpy. He can't pick off the second, but he can potentially kill this knight. That's what he's going to do. Oh, that's a big crit, and yeah, Valder can finish it. And even though Khal-El fought back quite bravely there, RedJams just able to just push through and shove through with a golem as well. Really nice setup from him. I think there's a Ballista like up here somewhere that didn't do anything all game, but hey, it would have eventually. RedJams sees the opportunity to end the game and goes for it.